This is in response to all my buddies on juicejunkies.com on Facebook. I'm going to attempt to build the little thing I invented tonight, the little vertical donut nano coil. So here we go. As you can see over here, I've got my pro tank heads just pulled apart. If any of you guys have done any rebuilding, I'm assuming you know what I've done here. I just took the stem off, pulled the insulator out, took the connector off the bottom. So we're ready to go. All I did was take my little piece of 28 gauge Kanthal here and a 1/16 drill bit, and just like you would wrap any other nano coil, like Mr. Rip Trippers teaches us, I just stick a little bit down the bottom here so it's hanging off the edge. Pinch it with your thumb, and then you just start to wrap. You want to get it as close as you can, as touching if you can, and I'm just going to do 5 wraps, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we go. Just like a normal nano coil, it's wrapped on my drill bit like that. Okay. And I just take my tweezers, because you want it as close as you can. You can squeeze them down, but I like to take my tweezers like this and kind of pinch them together, so it makes it work a lot better. Okay, like that. Okay, then you pull it off your bit. Then you put it between your tweezers and you want to squeeze it lightly. Whoops. Squeeze it lightly together so you don't overlap the edges of it, but you want to squeeze it down as tight as you can, because this is a nano coil. Just like that. I know you probably can't see that because I'm in the way, but whoops. Once I get it set, I'll show you. Just like that, nice and squeezed down tight. And then my little torch. About 10 seconds till it glows good. That's all you need. Make sure it's cooled off so you don't burn yourself. Okay, there you go, regular nano coil. You guys probably have already done this a billion times. I just feed it back on here to kind of make sure it's all nice and straight. If I need to fix any little pieces, I can. I kind of squeeze on it maybe a little bit, make sure that it's nice and ready to go. Okay, so then what I did to make it to go vertical instead of going that way was I took my leg here that's, because of the way I finished the wrap, they're both going off the same side of the coil, both going the same way. So what I did was I just turned it one way, whichever way you want to go, it doesn't really matter. And I actually took my tweezers again and pinched the coil, but I wanted to try to get that bottom leg in there to make like a pivot point so I could bend that leg down. I don't know if you can see that, but I've pinched it. I've actually pinched the leg in with the coil so that I can take it and just bend it straight down like that. And it gives it kind of a sharp edge for it to bend against. Okay, so now I've got that leg, so it's actually bent straight down now. See that? Okay, so for then the other one, I actually put it back on my bit again. Just so that it keeps it in shape while I'm messing with it. Okay. Got one leg coming down here against the drill bit, and then this one sticking out here. So in order for this one to work, you're going to have to bend it back and then down. So I took this and just crimped it over. So you can see I made a little crimp there. And then I took it and kind of bent it, worked it around to where it was facing down. I'm hoping you guys can see all this because it's really tiny. Okay, so when I pull it off, it'll be easier for you to see. Okay, and obviously this loop here, you want to try to make that little part as small as it can be. But, well, that didn't work real super great. Oh, my hands are right in the way. Anyway, let me get it fixed and then you can see. It doesn't help that I'm damn near blind either, so. Anyway, kind of like that, okay? You can kind of see I've got the one leg from that was coming off this side is bent straight down, and this one I kind of bent over and bent down, so they're both going in a downward direction, which gives me my coil facing upwards as opposed to going that way, which is how it normally would go. Okay? Whoopty-whoopty, awesome. Okay. Then what I did, just to have something to hold on to so that I didn't drop it down into my cup as I was trying to build it, I fed it back onto my drill bit again. And because of the way it fits, because it's tight, see now I have control over my coil. Okay? So now I've to fit it down on my cup, you just do it like you would do any other. You just both your legs down through your cup here, and you know it's going to go all the way through because of the way I've got it built here. So you have to. Oh, that didn't work that great. You have to make sure you hold on to the drill bit. Okay, and we'll get it situated a little better once we start getting things together here. But first of all, I just use that to kind of hold it so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so just like any other coil you would do, first goes the insulator, small side first, over one wire, leaving the other wire out on the outside of the insulator, and then you just work your insulator back in, just like that. Okay, now once you get to this point, you can actually take your drill bit out now. So now, because now your coil's suspended in there because you have the grommet back in. Then I like to take my little handy dandy tools here and grab my wire, and then you can pull it down in there and pull it to where you want it to stay by just adjusting it by pulling onto the wires. And so once I have it, the depth in the cup that I think is good. If you can see the side angle there, see how it's kind of, you want to have enough room between the top of your coil and where you're going to push your stem in, because if any part of that stem touches the top of that coil, it'll short it out. So you can't have it too high. You don't want it low enough that it's going to burn your insulator. So it's got to be kind of in the middle there. Okay, so once I have it about where I think it needs to be, then what I like to do is take my legs and I bend them up on either side. That kind of holds the coil where it's supposed to be at. Okay, then goes your, get my pin here. That's your pin that goes in the bottom. It fits right in there. Okay. I do one last look just to make sure that it all looks like it's okay in there. Then I like to use these little safety clippers for little babies here because they work good. And I just clip it off as close as I can. Okay. Your excess wire here. Okay. There you go. Now I'm going to do some